Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys my Lunalight deck profile for May 2016. This was one of the decks I was really excited to build out of Shining Victories. I was a big fan of Selena in the anime, and I also like the concept of, her fusion summon with pendulum summoning. So I'm going to bring you guys the deck profile. Let's go ahead and get started. I run 3 Lunalight Tiger. There are 2 Pendulum monsters out for the Lunalight cards at the moment, and the whole base of the deck is fusion summoning and, just getting out a lot of different Lunalight Tigers and emphasizing the fusion's effects. The effect of Tiger is once per turn you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot attack. Its effects are negated. Also, it's destroyed during the end phase. So you can basically get a lot of material on the field for fusion summons very easily, and the monster effect is if this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use the effect of Tiger once per turn. All the Lunalights are pretty essential for the deck, so I'm running most of them, all of them at 3 max, just because they all work really well together. And I also run 3 Wolf, the other pendulum scale. You have 1 and 5, meaning you can summon most of the Lunalight monsters. I think she's the only exception. Basically, you cannot pendulum summon monsters except for Lunalight monsters, and this effect cannot be negated. Once per turn, you can fusion summon one Lunalight fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing fusion materials on your field or in your graveyard. The graveyard part's really nice. This is basically your Miracle Fusion card for Lunalights. If your materials are in the graveyard, you have your resources, especially since some of the Lunalight monsters require having, fusion monsters be part of the fusion summon, particular monsters at that. And this effect is if a Lunalight monster you control attacks a defense monster, inflict piercing damage to your opponent. Usually most of this is card for the pendulum scale, so you won't have it on the field too much, and you also use it for fusion, costs, so you won't give off the piercing too much. And also run 3 Lunalight Blue Cat. If this card is special summoned, you can target one Lunalight monster you control except for Blue Cat. Its attack becomes double its original attack until the end of the turn. You can only use this effect of Blue Cat once per turn. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon one Lunalight monster from your deck. So it really, helps by the special summon effect, so you don't lose out on any of your monsters. Double is also great for the power skill. And I also run 3 Purple Butterfly Lunalight. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to target one Lunalight monster you control. It gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon one Lunalight monster from your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So it's a little more speed summoning for this card. Get out maybe your big Lunalight monster if need be. Options with this card is what I really like. And also run 3 Lunalight White Rabbit. The Lunalights all vary in attack and in levels mostly is what I meant to say there. So there are 2s, 3s, 4s, and so on. So when this card is normal summon, you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard except Lunalight White Rabbit. Special summon it in defense position. Once per turn, you can target one spell or trap your opponent controls up to the number of Lunalights you control, return them to your hand. You can return pendulum scales, pesky back row, whatever you need for this monster. And the fact that they're low level and low attack, mostly for that stat there, is not too important, basically because you'll fusion summon with them. So if you get this card out, get another one, bounce some cards, get your fusion monster out, you don't have to worry about your fusion monster being negated, because a lot of the times your opponent will let this go, and if they want to stop the bounce effect, they'll have to get rid of her first and not your fusion summon, which will be bad because you'll minus a lot trying to go for that play and then just having to end up having it be negated. And to finish up the Lunalight monsters, I run 3 Lunalight Black Sheep. You can discard this card, then activate one of these effects. You can add one Lunalight monster from your graveyard to your hand, except for Black Sheep, or you can add one Polymerization from your deck to your hand. So Polymerization is really important for most of your plays in this deck, so you want to be sure you get that fast. If you don't have Polymerization, you really, can't fusion summon unless you have the Pendulum monster as well, but that's more of a Miracle Fusion effect. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as a fusion material for a fusion monster, you can add to your hand one face-up Lunalight Pendulum monster from your extra deck or one Lunalight monster from your graveyard, except for Black Sheep. Makes me excited. I hope we get more Lunalight monsters soon that are pendulum monsters, just because the whole pendulum summoning from the extra deck will also really help with the consistency of this deck. And that's it for the monsters. Like I said, I'm running a full Lunalight build. I just find it to be the most consistent and the most fun for this deck. For spells, I run 3 Polymerization. You need this card. It's, like I said, your main play for fusion summoning in this deck. So pretty much staple there. 3 Fire Formation Tenki. Basically because all your Lunalights are Beast Warriors, so when you can add 1 level 4 or lower, which is most of them. I think the only exception is the 1 Lunalight Wolf Pendulum card. So search power with this. And I also run 2 fusion recoveries, so you can get back your monster material and your polymerization card with this card. And I also run 2 fusion sage along with sheep. You have 5 searches for polymerization, so you'll definitely get it in your hand running those. And also run 3 Twin Twister, basically because with the Miracle Fusion Pendulum card, send your Lunalights to the graveyard isn't that big of a deal. You'll get your Miracle Fusion off, and you'll pop your opponent's back row as well if you don't have the Compulse Lunalight in your hand. And also run 1 Regeki, and also trying out 2 Allure of Darkness just for that additional draw power. And then for traps, I run 3 Lunalight Reincarnation Dance. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can add up to 2 Lunalight monsters from your deck to your hand. You can only activate 1 Reincarnation once per turn. So the fun play is, if it's destroyed, add your 2 scales to your hand. Always pretty cool to do that play, setting your scale and then summoning out a lot of monsters. Or just grab what you need for the necessary fusion monsters you want to make. And also 3 Horn of the Phantom Beast, just for draw power and attack power. It's always really good. And then for the extra deck, I want to run 3 Lunalight Cat Dancer, but I was only able to get 2 at the moment, so we'll definitely bump this up to 3 when I get it. 2 Lunalight monsters required to make it. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and once per turn during your main phase, you contribute 1 other Lunalight monster for the rest of the turn. The first time each monster you control would be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. Also, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls twice each. This turn, if this card declares an attack, inflict 100 damage to your opponent. So direct attacks are out of the question if you use this card's effect, but you'll hit a lot if your opponent has, low attack point monsters and just hit them multiple times with attacks, which is pretty cool. And I also want to run 3 Lunalight Panther Dancer, but only had 1 pulled at Sneak, so that was pretty bad. To make this card, you need Lunalight Cat Dancer and 1 Lunalight monster. So the Miracle Fusion play is really good, basically because they'll be in your graveyard late game. So with Panther Dancer, it must be fusion summoned with the above fusion materials, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and once per turn during your main phase 1, you can activate this effect for the rest of this turn. The first time each monster your opponent controls will be destroyed by battle, it is not destroyed. Also, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls twice each. And this turn, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, this card gains 200 attack until the end of the battle phase. So it's got heavy stats, which is why I like a lot of the Lunalight monsters. And the attack thing, just like Cat Dancer, can really, hit hard with your opponent. And to finish up, I also run 2 Tullio Dancers. This is the big card of the deck. To make this card, you need Panther Dancer. So running 3 Cat Dancer, 3 Panther Dancer, and 2 Tullio Dancer is probably the ideal setup for all your fusion monsters. It must be fusion summoned with the above fusion monsters. It cannot be special summoned by other ways. It cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and this card can make a second attack during each battle phase, and once per turn at the end of the damage step, if this card attacked a monster, you can destroy all special summon monsters. So it doesn't have the save destruction effect, but the fact it destroys all special summon monsters can really help wipe your field if it had anything pesky, and 3,500 attacks can make it very difficult to get over. And I also run 1 Grampulse, 1 Levier, 1 Castel, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Arc, 1 Daigusto Phoenix, and I have a Gachi in here, but this is supposed to be a Sky Centura, just because it's a better option with the Beast cards in this deck. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.